perspective also pushed me even further leftward. And then I think the thing that finally pushed me over the edge from just calling myself like a social democrat into a socialist was I had a roommate during that period of time where I was getting really worried about whether I could pay my rent, uh, who was a communist. Like he has a hat that he wears all the time that has the hammer and sickle on it.
Yeah.
You know, he's constantly talking about communism, and I learned a lot about different concepts from him, and that was really cool. And I still get to talk to him occasionally, and it's yeah, so like that was the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge from being kind of like a Bernie Sanders Democrat to all right, I'm a socialist, right? And I was a little bit further left while living with him than I am now, um, because I feel I don't know exactly um, what he would describe himself as, but he was like a tanky that wasn't like super tanky.
Okay.
Uh, I was probably pretty close to that until I
Okay.
started streaming, and I feel like if I'm going to be putting my opinion out there and it's recorded, and there are going to be people watching me informing their opinions based off of the things that I say,
Yeah.
I need to be correct as often as possible. And if I'm ever incorrect, I need to come out and admit that I was incorrect and correct the record, right?
Mm.
So, because I did that and because I was engaging in debates all the time, I was learning about economics. I was learning about social issues. I was learning about um, sociology, learning how to read studies more effectively, learning how to use statistics more correctly. And as I did that, my ideals have kind of um, congealed into kind of a democratic socialist or um, market socialist kind of area. I don't
Okay.
really care to uh, label exactly where I am because
Yeah.
when I did that, I was people would say, "Well, you don't believe in this one aspect of market socialism, so like you're obviously not a market socialist." It's like, all right, well, fuck it. I am a Sonsolian. All right,
Who
that's
gives
what
a
my
shit?
yeah. I
Exactly.
don't.
Perfect.
So it was so that's kind of how my journey into leftism began and
Hmm.
has formed. And going forward, I think that the best way for people to like if you go through that same kind of journey where you see uh, something happen and then you start moving further and further left,
Hmm.
my advice to other people would be try to be as correct as often as possible and don't watch, you know, two or three streamers or two or three YouTube channels and form all your opinions off of that. Really take an effort to listen to like academics and listen to um, people with degrees in these fields that really know what they're talking about and learn how to critically think about what their biases might be so that when taking in that information, maybe they have a bias, but you can still get the information out of there and be cognizant of what bias may come out of it.
I think you've led right into the next section. Be best. Hashtag be best. You're mentioning right now some really great advice. Be aware of your biases, and I think that's it's just it's such a simple concept, but of
Mhm.
course always needs repeating. Um, in terms of looking back and continuing to look back on your leftward bound journey, Sans Soul, and as well as the current projects that you're working on and everything you've learned along the way. Any other life hacks you might be